Hey guys, so today I'm gonna show you how I grow my sugar snap peas, my snow peas, um, whatever you guys call them, where you're from. They come in many different variety. There's green, golden, yellow, purple. They have some that look like they're like blushing red. Very, very pretty, and they also produce really pretty flowers before they turn into peas. Okay, so for this, you're going to need an egg carton. You can use any egg carton you have. I usually use this big one because I have a family of six, so I require more. Okay, and for soil, we're going to be using coco coir. I got this from Dollar Tree. It was $1.25. It comes in a very small compressed brick, but it doubles, triples, quadruples in size, and you get about 2 quarts worth of growing medium. It's not soil, but it's kind of like soil, but it's not. It's a coconut product. It's what's left of the coconuts after they process them. But yes, you get about 2 quarts of coco coir to use to grow your seedlings. It's very affordable and very easy to use. Majority of the time it is fungus gnat free, which is very nice. Okay, when you use coco coir and it's compressed, I suggest you use hot water. It makes it expand faster. Okay, so for the egg tray, you're going to make kind of like drainage holes, but they're not really going to drain much. These little X's I'm making are actually for the roots of these snow peas and snap peas to be able to come out of, because I don't want the roots to be curled up in the egg cell. I want them to be able to come out, okay? And just so you know, this whole process, this whole video took 10 days, from the day I started the seeds to the day I planted them out. All right, so I tried my best to film every step so you know exactly what I do, so you can, get inspired or try this for yourself. All right, so I'm going to take the coco coir and put it in all the little egg sections or the cells, where the eggs were. And yes, just push it in really well. It does not have to be loose, like I usually keep the soil really loose, but snow peas and snap peas have very aggressive roots, and they have a very aggressive tap root. So it's gonna be able to push its way through a little bit of compressed coco coir that is already moistened. So it's perfectly fine to really push it in there, get as much of the coco coir into the egg sections as you can. Okay, and take your time and do it. It could get a little messy. I'm doing this on my kitchen counter, and coco coir is, I would say, it's a cleaner not dirt, but it's a cleaner seed starting mix to work with besides the typical seed starting mix, because some, like if you use potting soil, like outdoor potting soil, and you try to sterilize it, sometimes the fungus gnats and any other bugs that may be in it survive, and I don't really want to use that while on my kitchen counter. Besides the fact that it has almost no type of bug issue, it also has no actual like real nutritional nutritional value or nutrients in the soil to feed plants. We don't really need it for this video. I do not feed snow peas and snap peas. They don't require it. Okay. But if you want to customize your feeding, like through water soluble feeding, like I do, it's perfect for that. So snow peas, snap peas, beans, pole beans, etc., they all have this amazing property where they can fix the nitrogen in the soil. So they pretty much take their nitrogen out of the air around them, and whatever they don't use, they release into the soil, and then neighboring plants use it. So they make really good companion plants. I'll show you guys it towards the end of the video, how I will be planting this. I show you the entire process so you can understand what I mean by companion plant. Okay, but as far as the seeds go, I put 2 seeds per egg section or per cell. So per section where one egg is, I put 2 seeds. You can get away with 3, but I prefer to do 2. Snow peas do not mind being planted close together. Okay, the only thing they have an issue with is their roots being disturbed. That's why I made the X on the bottom of the tray so that their roots can freely come out, so that I'm not going to mess with their roots too much when time comes to plant them in the garden. Okay. And the seeds I'm using are from my garden. These are safe seeds. I believe I have some for sale on my seed shop. I have to double check. But as you guys could see, they're all in different colors because this is a variety mix. When I harvested my snow peas that I let go to seed, I just kind of shelled them all and mixed it all up together. And they look like these colorful, pretty, like Flintstone pebbles. So I'm growing a variety mix. There's no one set, so nothing is labeled here. So the colors shows pretty much that it's going to be a mix of snow peas, snap peas, golden, green, purple, the red blushing ones, all of that. Okay. Now you're going to push it in as deep as you can into the egg section. It does not have to be close to the surface. So push it in as deep as you possibly can and cover it up tightly. Okay. What I mean by tight is like, cover it up, really well and press the soil down onto the seed. You want to make sure that the moist soil comes in contact with the seed. Even though it's all the way to the bottom of the egg section, you want to make sure that the soil comes in contact with the seeds, okay? So press them all the way down as far as they can go. Don't worry about it. Beans, snow peas, snap peas, they can go down about an inch deep in soil and come up just fine. Once you have all your seeds in place, so 2 seeds per egg section, you're going to water this in really well, like really soak it in, okay? And in about 3 to 4 days, you're going to start seeing little green things popping up, and that means your seeds have sprouted. Remember how the seeds look like they really didn't have much life to them? They have a lot of life, they just need some water. All right, so that was 3 to 4 days after. This was about 5 days after, and so on and so on. So I think this other part was 6 days, and then the next part will be, actually, no, this was yesterday. This was yesterday, and the next part will be today. I do not want these to start developing true leaves indoors because I want them to get accustomed to outdoors, okay? And the roots have developed and popped out. And I don't know if you saw, but there's 2 egg trays. There's not just one. You could just use one. Just make sure you have something on the bottom to collect water and to keep the roots safe. But there's actually 2 egg trays that I have doubled up to keep the roots from touching anything, the countertop or anything else. And I also have a newspaper underneath to keep the moisture from going through and wetting anything that, I don't want to get wet. So this is today, and I just showed you the other seedlings that I had started from my Dollar Tree video. They've gotten really big. So I just wanted to show you how they looked. And this is where I'm going to plant the snow peas, snap peas mix. These are 2 18-gallon storage containers. This is my second year using them. They do have drainage holes on the bottom. They are completely filled with soil. This is where I grew some of my sweet potatoes last year. I'm not sure if I'm going to grow sweet potatoes in here again, but snow peas and snap peas make great companion plants. They use the nitrogen that is in the air, and whatever they don't use, they release into the soil. So anything that likes nitrogen, they'll do good with, except for onions and garlic. They just don't mix. Okay. But yeah, so I showed you to cut it if you want to, if you're too scared to rip it. But I'm so used to ripping it, in rows like this. I just take my time, gently rip it, and my fingers will be on the bottom. You will be able to touch the roots. Just be really careful. The roots do not like to be disturbed. You're gently gonna just rip it apart, and you'll have a perfect row of snow peas, snap peas, sugar snap, daddy peas, whatever they there's so many names for them. A perfect row to plant out into your garden. Me, I'm planting these in the 18-gallon storage bins that have drainage holes, and the trellis is actually an upcycle a baby crib railing from an old crib. I got this from a friend of mine in a trade. I helped her with her garden, and she gave me the crib. That look, it was a good trade, okay? But yeah, you just rip it, and then you have a perfect row, pre-sprouted snow peas, snap peas. You already have a jump start on the growing season. You cover these guys up. Look at those roots, you guys. This is what I meant by aggressive roots. Look at them, and they're not being broken or mushed or anything like that. I put them in there, gently push them in, and then just cover them up with about an inch of soil very loosely. You don't want it too deep. And another thing, if you notice, it's raining. It's raining, and this is the best time. This is my favorite time to plant out seedlings because the rain has nutrients in it, micronutrients. So the seedlings waters them in really nicely. So I don't have to water them in. So it naturally waters them in. And planting your seedlings out in the rain actually helps prevent transplant shock. Some of you that have probably tried to grow things and you start your seedlings indoors and then you try to bring them outdoors. Before you even bring them outdoors, you need to, harden them off, get them acclimated to the outdoor temperatures, the conditions, the wind, the cold, the heat, the sun, frost, all of that, right? But sometimes you'll do that and you'll try to plant your seedling out and they'll have transplant shock. So doing this in the rain prevents that. You know, the soil is moist. They get watered in with proper natural water. You know, so and gently. They get watered in really, really gently, not rough at all. So, like you see, I am not watering anything in because it's pretty much been raining for the last 2, 3 days. So, perfect time to plant out your seedling. It's also a perfect time to plant out your spinach seeds, your radish seeds, your carrots. Um, what else? Let me think. A lot of root vegetables can be planted. Your turnips, things like that could be planted out. Your cool weather crop. You could start some seeds in the garden, in an area, just sprinkle a couple. And then once they start growing, you could separate them and plant them throughout the garden. But as you guys could see, I was able to put the snow peas, snap peas, what do you call it? I think they were calling sugar snap or daddy sugar snap peas in different parts of my garden. And I did use 2 cartons. One of the egg cartons was to kind of keep the roots from touching the counter or touching anything I didn't want it to touch. So now that old carton is gone, the bottom carton is free and I could use this for something else. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was helpful to you, inspired you to try to grow your own food. And I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, guys.